I'm Claire Vanorny. I'm a violinist in the Repertory orchestra and go to Eastview High School. I've been in MYS for 3 years.
I'm Lucas Shogren. I'm the Repertory conductor, and I'm also the conductor of the Mounds View High School Orchestra.
Hello, my name is Mark Mandarano, and I'm the artistic director of Minnesota Youth Symphonies. I conduct the symphony orchestra, and I'm also a professor here at Macalester College.
Today, Mark and Lucas are going to answer some of the most frequently asked questions about orchestra auditions. Today, we're reversing the roles. I know what I'm asking, and you will be on the hot seat. What an advantage to be able to ask questions to the people on the other side of the table.
Thank you. And before we start, I just want to say, when you come into audition, I know it can be a little intimidating, but really, we're rooting for you. We want to hear you play at your best. So come in, make yourself comfortable, and let's enjoy the music.
MYS auditions have 4 parts: scales, an excerpt, a solo, and sight reading. Will you ask me what I want to start with, or will you pick for me?
Most people often start with scales, but really we'll kind of ask you what you feel most comfortable playing.
Okay, now a 2-part scale question. How many scales will I have to play from the list, and what are you listening for when I play them?
The number of scales you have to play really depends upon what orchestra you're at MYS you're auditioning for, which level. You may be asked to play 1 or 2 or even 3. What we're looking for is accuracy and intonation, that the scales are prepared and that you know them. We are listening a little bit for tone and for musicality, but really that's what the solo and the excerpts are for. We're looking for someone who really knows their scales and what their keys are.
For a solo, should I pick something that's easier that I'm more confident with, or a solo that's harder that I might make mistakes?
I'd suggest picking what you're going to be the most confident with that's going to show you're playing the best. There's a little bit of a balancing game you have to play with. You don't want to play something that's too easy, but you also don't want to play something that's so hard that you're just playing a lot of mistakes all over the place. You want to really focus in on showing and highlighting your best version of you.
If my solo piece is pretty long, should I start at the beginning, or can I pick a section in the middle that I really want to show you?
I'd say in my experience that most students who come in begin at the beginning. If you're not going to begin at the beginning for some reason, just have an explanation for the judges about your rationale for why you're starting somewhere else. And it's also very common in an audition for the judges to stop you at some point or to ask you to skip ahead and play another section. And that's really just because they want to hear a certain part of it or they've heard enough at that point to make a judgment. That isn't some statement of how you've played so far. It's just a routine part of the logistics of auditions.
On to excerpts. They feel so short. What are you wanting to hear in the excerpt so I can be well prepared and know what to focus on while practicing?
For most excerpts, I would suggest that you take them to your private teacher and discuss what is the essence of this excerpt with them, because usually excerpts are chosen for various reasons, to display range or to display articulations, accuracy, skipping around and different parts of the instrument. It's good to take it to the teacher who will know the excerpt and be able to explain to you what the judges are looking for and what the proper tempo range is.
Sight reading can be really scary. How do I practice for it?
It is hard. Sight reading is a very challenging thing to practice for. Really, the best way of practicing sight reading is to sight read. There are obviously some other key things about just how to prepare for sight reading, how to think about it, which I think we're going to talk about here in a second.
In fact, we have an example of sight reading right over here. So Claire, let me take this over to you and have a look at that and tell me what you're looking at when you're thinking about playing this.
Well, I noticed the key signature has 1 sharp, we're in 4/4 time, and the tempo is andante.
Those are really important things to see when you're playing it. So you know you have to play F sharp all the way through. You know the tempo is moderate. It's not fast. It's not slow. 4/4 time. And you may also look ahead at some of the rhythms. You can see that there are some dotted rhythms as well as some even eighth notes. And you can look at the range of where the notes lie as you scan through it to see maybe if there's some shifting involved in what part of the instrument you're going to have to play it on. These are all good things to do ahead of playing any sight reading. And then the next thing is when you begin to keep a steady pulse as you play.
Auditions are nerve-wracking. What advice do you give to students auditioning for you?
I would just say that we are on your team and we're really excited for you, and we're not kind of there to get you or anything like that. And we want to place you in a place where you're going to be the most successful for where you're at. The other just kind of tip I would just have is just start practicing earlier. Start practicing with the metronome as soon as you can, and just kind of know that the longer you have to practice, you're just going to be more confident in walking into that audition.
That's really good advice, Lucas. And another thing you can do is to practice playing your audition. You can play it for your pet. You can play it for your little sister. You can play it for your parents or your friends. Just get used to playing in front of other people, because that's what you're going to do in your audition.
Mark and Lucas, thank you for taking time to talk to me today. I look forward to seeing so many of you at auditions in June.